welcome. I appreciate y'all making the time to be here today. I want to thank a few folks. This came together very well, and the Prescott Valley Chamber of Commerce. Let's give both of those chambers a hand. Sherry and Marnie, thank you guys for your work and your teams. Great job. So I'm going to kind of jump right to an introduction for the governor, and so we can get him up here and allow him as much time as possible to speak. And then I have some really tough questions for him after that. So, look, there's so many great things going on in our state, and it's largely due to the leadership that we have in the governor's office with Governor Ducey. And I'm so proud of what he's done in 5 years working there at the state. And we are truly blessed and grateful for his leadership. I love his slogan, open for opportunity. I love the big banner you have down there on the state office. It's just really cool, and you see that working in our state. So many more opportunities that we have. He's moved government out of the way, bureaucracy and red tape out of the way, and allowed business to work freely in the market, and it's working so well, and we're so proud of Governor Ducey and all he's done. You know, I think about the situation he was handed with the deficit, an amazing deficit that he inherited. And today, folks, he has $1 billion in a rainy day fund. That's amazing. Without raising taxes, by the way. So there you go. That's right. I do need to thank the governor real quick, too. My daughter is a recipient of the Teachers Academy tuition. Yes. She goes to the great University of Arizona. Okay, that didn't go over as well as I thought it would. No, Governor Ducey's had a tremendous vision. But more importantly than his vision is his strategic plan and just carrying out the plan that he's created. And he was here in June of 2018, and he spoke at a luncheon, and we talked to him about I-17 20 months ago and said, Governor, we've got to get something done on I-17. Here we are 20 months later, he's put it out to bid. We're going to have more lanes on I-17, and so he's not just all talk. He gets stuff done, he delivers. Thank you. Well, look, I could go on and on, but I want to give the governor as much time as possible. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage our governor, Governor Doug Ducey.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, so much. Thanks for the warm reception. It's great to be in Yavapai County. Yeah. Anything to get out of the state capitol. When I arrived here about an hour ago, I asked my DPS detail, I said, I saw all the snow on the ground. I said, what's the temperature? He said, it's 42 degrees. I was warm in my jacket. But it's only winter in Yavapai County till 11 a.m. It's just beautiful. What a beautiful day. I want to say to Mayor Mengarelli, thank you. And I give the credit for what's going on in Arizona to our citizens. I mean, I think we've got the greatest place in the country in which to live. Yavapai County and Prescott are reflective of it. And I'm very grateful to be here today to give you an overview of the state of the state and what's happening in Arizona. I want to say thank you to the Prescott Chamber and the City of Prescott for hosting today. I've been traveling quite a bit, but you always recognize Prescott as you're coming in, and it's just got that perfect climate in Arizona, and I'm not the only one that's discovered that in the last decade. I think some of the housing prices are reflecting it. Let me begin by giving a special thanks to Senate President Karen Fann, Representative Steve Pierce, and Representative Noel Campbell. You are well represented at the state capitol. And I want you to know that your elected leaders are not only excellent leaders. Of course, President Fan leads a chamber, but they are vocal in terms of what is most important to them. And I think that's important because we're going to talk a lot about parts of the state outside of Phoenix. You know, tomorrow marks Arizona's 108th birthday. We are the youngest state in the lower 48, and I think with that youth, you see energy, and with that energy, you see innovation. And I want you to know that today, the state of our state is strong, and the good news is it's only getting better. In the game of states, people vote with their feet, and Arizona is winning. Our state is home to the fastest growing city in the country, the fastest growing county in the nation, and today Arizona is known as the #1 inbound state in America. And don't worry, we're going to remind those Californians that they left California for a reason. And we'll keep Arizona, Arizona. Today, our economy is booming. We have 350,000 new private sector jobs since 2015. We're the #2 state in the nation for job growth, and our poverty rate has dropped. We have lifted more people out of poverty than any other of the 50 states in America. Something to be proud of. Shows that there's opportunity for all. Prescott and Prescott Valley have played a significant role in our state's economic growth over the past several years, with so many companies setting up shop or expanding here. Companies like Sprouts Farmers Market, Superior Industry, Signs Plus, MI Windows and Doors, and Print Pack. And of course, there's also Vinyl Visions, Quality Plastics, and the award-winning Superstition Meadery. And in case you're looking for another way to quench your thirst in Prescott, Cottonwood recently welcomed Wild Tonic as well. All of this growth is reflected in our growing general fund and bursting revenues. But I think you know me well enough to know that we are not going on a spending spree. And something else, there's one thing that's been consistent and persistent over the 5 years I've been in office. It is the spending lobby and how they are omnipresent down at the state capitol. So let me repeat what I've said in 2 inaugural addresses and 5 State of the State speeches. We are not raising taxes in Arizona. Not this session, not next session, not at the legislature, not at the ballot box. We are not raising taxes on my watch. Instead, we are going to give back to the ones who have sacrificed the most. In Arizona, we are blessed to have over 600,000 veterans who call this home. These brave men and women are heroes. They make our state stronger when they choose Arizona, and we owe them an eternal debt of gratitude for the freedoms that they enjoy. And on that note, I'd like to ask all the veterans and active military in the room if you'd please stand so we can honor you. You know, these folks, once retired, continue to give back to our state. So government should not be taxing their service to country. Government should be honoring their service to country. We have a goal in Arizona to make this home base for veterans everywhere in our country, and our budget this year does this by eliminating all state income taxes on military pensions once and for all. And that's not the only way we can honor these heroes. We're building on our $1 million investment in the Be Connected program. We've got new veterans' homes that are under construction in Flagstaff and Yuma. And for our heroes and military spouses, feel free to polish your resumes. We're getting rid of your occupational licensing fees as well. Now, on the topic of government reform, we have been on a blitz in Arizona to get rid of unnecessary regulations. You know, in government, oftentimes people talk about all the things they want to do, and I'm sure we all have things we want to see get done. But there are some things that are no longer necessary. There are things that came in the past that are now getting in the way. And a lot of that is regulations. Even with the amount of talent and expertise we have in the governor's office, it took them some time to bring together for me the amount. I said, how many regulations do we have in the state of Arizona? The answer was 11,000 rules and regulations. So we offered out in 2017 to the citizens and to the business community what regulations are unnecessary. What regulations don't protect public health or public safety and possibly just stifle competition or don't allow you to enter a market. And since 2017, we've been able to eliminate, wipe off the books, 2,289 regulations. That's the equivalent of a $134 million tax cut without costing the general fund 1 penny. I was just back in Washington, D.C. with President Trump and President Pence, and in the state dining room from the podium, President Trump recognized Arizona's leadership in the removal of regulations. They're doing the same thing at the federal level, and he challenged the other governors to model what Arizona is doing across the nation. So just so you know, we're not slowing down and nobody's going to catch us. And also to start the years to practice what I preach, I rescinded 23 old, unnecessary executive orders, which resulted in the elimination of 18 boards and commissions we just don't need. And don't worry, I'm not going to go through the list. You won't miss them. I also signed an executive order with a new reform. If government deems it absolutely necessary to pass a new regulation, it must first find 3 to eliminate. This isn't the New York way or the California way. It's the Arizona way, and we're going to stick to it. Also this year, I don't know if you saw some of what was on the ballot last November, but this year we're going to take action to make sure all of Arizona continues to respect the rule of law. Last fall, in southern Arizona, a troubling proposal to defy federal law was soundly and overwhelmingly rejected by Democrats and Republicans alike in Tucson, Arizona. It wasn't even close. And now it's time for all Arizonans to make their voices heard and to enshrine it in our Constitution. This November, we're working to give all Arizona voters the opportunity to say yes to the rule of law and no to sanctuary cities. As a growing state with a bursting general fund, we are investing dollars in the things that matter and significantly building the state of Arizona. Over the next 5 years, we will invest $4.6 billion in our transportation and infrastructure. and that includes the widening of I-17. For families headed this way, that means more time for beauty, history, and recreation, along with convenience and less headaches as they enjoy the beauty of Prescott and less time stuck in traffic. Now, I think the number one applause line at the State of the State at the Capitol might have been when I let the lawmakers know that there are 15 counties in the state of Arizona, and that there are needs outside of the great state of Maricopa. And that this year's budget would have a focus on rural Arizona, including expanding access to high-speed internet for all of our communities. So this year, we're going to triple our investment in rural broadband grants to get all of Arizona logged on. We're going to invest $50 million to install new smart highway corridors, including along Interstate 17. We also want to promote the beauty of our state. So many people know Arizona as the Valley of the Sun, but there is so much more to offer outside of Greater Phoenix, and there's no better place to vacation than scenic Arizona. Last year, we dedicated $100,000 to promote rural tourism for Arizona's local wine industry. And this year, we're adding $1 million to expand rural tourism development through the Arizona Office of Tourism, because we want everyone around the world to know the special blessings and gifts that we enjoy throughout the state. We also have a plan to get vital jobs filled in our rural communities. We call it a Rural Jobs Initiative. Believe it or not, we have 2,000 manufacturing jobs available outside of Maricopa County or Pima County. And I would say the biggest change in our state's economy in the last decade, we're a state that's always been known for growth. We've been known for home building and construction. But today in Arizona, we have more manufacturing jobs than we do construction jobs. Our economy has been diversified. And those 2,000 jobs are outside of Maricopa and Pima. That spells good news for the economies of Yavapai, Prescott, and all of rural Arizona. The budget's going to include $825,000 to bolster efforts at Yavapai College and help get these jobs filled. Nobody's better at training our citizens than them. And these dollars are on top of an additional $778,000 in flexible funds that are headed to Yavapai College and will be in our budget. Thank you for the good work you do. And this year, of course, we're going to continue to invest in our kids and in our public schools. To date, we've pumped $4.5 billion in additional investments into Arizona public schools. With the new budget, that figure will rise to $6.6 billion, plus a 20% pay increase for our hard-working teachers, and we've done all of this without raising taxes. And I want to say to the teachers that are in the room, or are probably in the classroom right now, thank you for the good work you're doing. Not only are we investing more dollars, but you are leading the nation in terms of results. Arizona's leading in improvement in math and reading across the country, and I know you need even more help. So there's going to be a larger investment in school counselors to deal with mental health issues on our campuses, cops on our campuses to make sure that our schools are safe, and a focus on school safety. We're also going to invest and have a stronger focus on something when I was in high school we used to call SHOP. Because the SHOP skills are where 65% of the job openings are in Arizona and in America. Today we call that CTE, Career and Technical Education. We also have a teachers academy to say to young people, if you choose education as your focus and you commit 5 years to going to the front of the classroom, we'll cover your tuition, you'll graduate debt-free, and there'll be a job waiting for you in Arizona. And on that note, I want to say thank you to the school districts and the superintendents here in Yavapai County who have moved these dollars through the school system, got them into the teachers' pay checks, and worked with us on the Teachers Academy as well, so we can bring new blood into these classrooms as our hardworking teachers enter in at some point their well-earned and deserved retirement. I don't know if you remember, but in 2015, the first law that I signed in Arizona was the American Civics Act. Arizona was the first state in the nation. So any child that graduates from an Arizona high school has taken the same test that a new American citizen takes before they're naturalized. You know, today only 1 in 4 Americans can name the 3 branches of government. 70% of our adult citizens don't know that the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. In Arizona, we've taken steps to fix this. We're going to make certain that our next generation is equipped to inherit our republic. You know what our high school students already have to do, but I'm proposing that we expect more, that we start them even earlier and give our middle schoolers a chance to complete this exam, because we know there is more to learn beyond just civics. So in honor of a legendary Arizonan whose life has been a living civics lesson, I'm calling for a day when classroom instruction will be dedicated solely to civics and American history. Sandra Day O'Connor, Civics Celebration Day. Now we know that people are fleeing bad policies in other states, and they are flocking to Arizona because we do things differently. We call it the Arizona way. It's something we want to protect, promote, and defend. Here we do believe in opportunity for all. We believe in the dignity of every individual. We believe in putting others first. Communities like Prescott and Yavapai County demonstrate that in word and deed. I'm proud to say that this community lives those values each and every day. And on that note, I want to take a moment to recognize a Prescott resident who exemplified those values to the utmost. Kayla Mueller was someone who made it a mission to serve others, and she chose to do so in the Middle East. Kidnapped by ISIS and held hostage by their leader, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, Kayla was tragically murdered in 2015. But today, with al-Baghdadi gone from the face of the earth, Kayla's spirit of service lives on in her mom, Marcia, and her dad, Carl. Kayla's parents are here with us today. Carl and Marcia, Arizona reveres Kayla's spirit and service. Thank you so much for your example and for being with us here today. Can I share the news with them? I was able to visit with Mr. and Mrs. Mueller earlier today, and there is a painting that has been commissioned in Washington, D.C. by Special Forces, and that painting is going to be memorialized at the state capitol upon completion. It has a very special letter and 2 very special pictures, and they asked me if this was possible, and I said, yes, of course. it will be memorialized anywhere in Arizona you would want it to be memorialized. It would be our privilege to put it in the state capitol. The only thing I could see happening is the President of the United States saying, no, it belongs in the rotunda of that capitol. But I think it belongs in Arizona. Thank you. From our veterans to our teachers to the business people that are in the room, to the moms and dads and families, and the young humanitarians like Kayla Mueller. Prescott is making Arizona proud. So please, all I ask of you is to keep up the great work, keep doing things the Arizona way and setting the pace for this state. I look forward to any questions you have for me. Thanks for having me. God bless.